All right. Hello. Welcome. Episode 2 of the Knitting Club podcast. We find ourselves here yet once again. I'm Mate.
I'm Sammy.
I'm Sebastian.
I'm David.
And I'm Frost.
Yay. We did it.
Yay.
We made it.
We made it this far.
Nice.
Oh, wait, guys, you're still
there it
listening
is.
to us? Okay, cool.
Whoa.
Okay, so we wanted a question of the day. What was it?
Who is your favorite superhero?
Oh, God. I'm going to go with Deadpool because he curses a lot, and I like that.
He may fit in.
That's it.
And he has a beautiful face, too, right?
He does have a beautiful
So
face.
beautiful.
A
That's
positive outlook on life.
Yeah.
Really
Uh,
cool, Deadpool.
What about you, Sammy?
I picked Thor because who would not want to be the god of thunder? I feel like it's a pretty good option. Would love to have a magical hammer that can transport me anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you, David?
I'm going with Michelangelo from the Turtles, not the human, because superhero part thing. Toxic stuff, pizza.
You don't know if the human was not a superhero.
He was a
Mm.
superhero.
Maybe.
That's
Never-
true.
You never read the comics?
About the Michelangelo from history.
Yeah.
No, I have not seen those comics, but maybe. Okay, I'm changing my answer to the human. The human for sure, absolutely. Sebastian.
I don't know. I think for me, I'll say Batman. He has the power of money. That's the best superpower of all of them. So, yeah. I wish I had that power. Okay. For us, what about you?
So I like Batman. I like Deadpool. I'm gonna probably go with X-Men. I'm sorry, Wolverine. What am I saying? Wolverine. Mostly because I just like the idea of basically being indestructible and at least recovering from any destruction. And also, he's got a pretty interesting backstory. At least what I've read in the few comics I've read and the movies I've watched. I don't like the Origins movie; that one kind of sucked. But it did have some interesting story elements.
And you could make some pulled pork out of people.
Yeah, I didn't like. I don't know if you guys watched the cartoon back in the '90s.
God, no.
Yeah.
I thought it was just hilarious how much they were campy and didn't want to hurt people in the cartoon. And he's this guy with knives for hands. So, how do you write a guy where half of his ability is cutting people up, and you don't want to have him cutting people up in a cartoon? So it's really funny where he's just he ends up just fighting people and getting thrown around all the time. It's just cut him.
It's for tickling.
Yeah. I mean, he does tickle a few people, but they always seem to be immune to his tickles. And it's oh, no, I guess that you never would have seen that coming, in this cartoon.
All right, enough of that crap. Let's move on to the light menu. I was talking with a friend of mine, talking about the best way to go about getting people to figure out the stuff you make and to then give you money for that stuff that you make. What is that called? Marketing? And he was saying a lot of indie game developers, the way they apparently go about it nowadays is to build the brand even before they, I guess, talk about the game. And so you got to have followers and you got to have wish lists, because if you don't have that and you hit the market, no one's going to know who you are. And it seems like marketing is moving in that direction, because there's a lot of companies seeking out influencers to talk about their product and to kind of, I guess, ride their wave. And if someone name drops you, then you can start building your brand a little bit, and then I guess you take off. But so an experiment worth trying. I think even with this podcast or show or whatever we're doing here, it's going to be an interesting experiment to see like how do we actually get growth here.
I don't know if it's the best example of like preloading your actual game coming out with like, you know, just hype and then coming out slowly with the game was like Star Citizen, because that started like a decade ago at this point, and they've crowdsourced hundreds of millions of dollars, and I don't even think the game's done yet. But it does look cool. I'm waiting for like the final product to give it a shot. But yeah, that's a good example of that kind of thing going to its extreme.
Well, I mean, I'm sure part of it looking cool is all those assets, right? Like textures and all that, which reminds me of this thing that I've heard about. It's this new briefcase that basically has like about almost 400 terabytes of NVMe storage. So that way, like for your next Call of Duty game update, you can, if you have a slow connection like me, when you live in a third world country like the US, I can just like grab the briefcase from a friend to get the game update faster than through my internet connection.
I mean, I don't know about that. Like, if you're talking about an entire Call of Duty update, you might need two of them.
I mean, that is a
True.
very fair point. Yeah, one on each
I
arm.
like how Sammy. I like
Wow.
how Sammy is speaking. His picture is getting more and more pixelated by the
It's like slowly fading away.
That is actually his soul just getting more pixelated.
Sammy. You should just probably record separately and then like mail me your briefcase of data.
I will do that.
Oh, geez. That was a delay right there. Was that on purpose? Were you like ventriloquisting?
Well played.
Sammy's still back on the previous topic. Hang on. Give it a moment to catch up again.
My favorite superhero is Slowbro from Pokemon.
So yeah, on the topic of AI, have you heard of this thing called the human AI pin? What?
Sammy, blink twice if you can hear us. He's not moving his eyes.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's...
Yeah, that was funny. Internet is not a funny place, though. Can you? And this...
Sammy, where's your burrito?
ASMR time.
Guys, speaking of
This will
burritos,
be the podcast. Just us laughing for 30 minutes.
So for anyone else who's still listening to us, Sebastian, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the internet, but I don't like the internet.
So we heard.
Yeah, do you guys know this game called Warhammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know about it, right?
No.
Mhm.
So it's a war game. So it's a game you get mini fee, whatever they're called.
Figurines.
And you get your own army, and you play like to war with other people. Yeah. So I was just on Twitter, and I found they are deciding to add women to a couple of groups that weren't supposed to have women, and people is getting crazy. People is like, yeah, you're ruining the game. Yeah, this is not the game we started playing. You never had women, and people is telling the creators of the game that they are wrong. And I find that so What? How can I? I can't even put it in words. It is.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. There's like groups in the game that are canonically like all men or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, kind of. But if you, as the creator, just decide that they're not longer canonically men, who are you to say that to tell them that they're wrong?
yeah,
Who the fuck are
I'm
you?
always,
You're just
I always say don't get like mad over fictitious things. That's like it's not real. Come on, guys.
It's like when all of conservative media got really, really upset at what was it, The Little Mermaid? You know, a movie for little children. That what's her name? I want to say
Ariel.
Sam. Yeah, it's Ariel. Ariel was the wrong Ariel. Let's just put it that way.
And then she joined a horde of barbarians and tried to attack a different village. I remember that part. That was really. It just didn't work because like mermaids are canonically like always men, right? I think that's how the story goes. Yeah, just
Right?
can't get past it.
I have no idea what he's talking
David, how
about,
much
but
have you
yes,
been drinking before this show?
At least 10. What?
just 10.
No, this story about like something happens in a gaming world that has a canon and I don't like it and then I'm going to be outraged is a cycle as old as video games on the internet. Like it's amazing how this still happens and people still get like really whipped up by it.
I mean, what else do you do
Wow.
in life if you don't get angry about fictitious things? There's nothing else to do, right?
Well, you know
I
what
mean,
else people get like super upset about is even geeky crap like the original series versus the next generation of Star Trek.
speaking of Star Trek, the holodeck. That's a that's what I'm interested in. It's a fun topic where you can go in, and if you've never seen Star Trek, sorry for spoilers. You'll get there someday. But the holodeck is a place where you could like make any environment come true. And so there's a couple schools in Pennsylvania that I found this interesting because they're schools, so they have to like justify, hey, I want to play around with tech stuff in a cool way because it would be cool and I like it and I like video games and I like tech stuff. But this will be good for the world because we can train robots with large language models in virtual reality for ways of walking around in real life. So we can get money for our grants to create the holodeck in virtual reality. So basically, what they're doing is they're taking like gaming assets. They have like a database of gaming assets that are just like everyday objects. So all those like drawers and tables and bookshelves and stuff you pass that have been 3D rendered and created for various different games. They have a database of that the linking like the virtual reality world creator with AI. You can create a world out of those assets to walk around in and experience. And so obviously that's how they would train like real world robots and how to navigate virtual spaces because we need more data sets to train those robots. And so they're like, well, let's make it fun. So basically you strap on the headset and you just tell it stuff like, generate me a 1 bedroom 1 bath apartment that a software researcher would be living in the general area of Pennsylvania. And at first it'll be like, it'll generate the floor, it'll generate the walls, it'll generate all the like bookcases and desks and stuff. And then the last step is just like make sure none of them are in front of doors. Supposedly, I would love to use this software because I guarantee you, off of my experience with like Dolly and trying to do images, you don't even need LSD or anything anymore. You're just gonna strap the headset on, and after like 20 minutes, you're just gonna be like, "What is reality? How does gravity work? What's going on?" Um,
So if I'm hearing this correctly, this is like level generation with a prompt. Similarly, how you would go onto the holodeck and say, "Put me in 1920s France." This would be the similar type of thing,
yeah.
and it's just the prompt that you give the AI to then make your environment.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all vocal. So it's all trying to interact with the, like, using an Oculus or something and using the microphone. piping it through ChatGPT to go and generate the environment.
And it's all with game assets?
Yeah, so that's how they're doing it, because they're researchers, so they're trying to cut budget. But obviously, you can start having it generate assets too. But they wanted to keep it so it's like real world environment stuff. So at least you can constrain that. You're not going to get this weird generate me a desk and it has 17 legs or something.
It sounds like a really interesting way of model designing, in video games. You just say, yeah, design the model, design level with this, and this stuff, and it will do it for you. And you will save a lot of time because that thing takes really long time.
Too bad the door will be on the ceiling.
All the video games have the doors in the same place. You need to innovate.
We need to go back to the first version of Dolly for this, because then you'll make a room that'll have 18 hands coming out of a toilet.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's gonna be fun.
That's the final boss.
Imagine trying to use the bathroom in VR. Yeah, he shit all over the bathroom. I don't know what that was about.
I went in the toilet. Okay, I don't know how it got into your bread mix or something.
ChatGPT, put me into 1920s France in a bathroom right now. This is an emergency.
You have seen those bathrooms in Japan? That's pretty much it. They have a lot of stuff on them, like buttons, and they are this close to get into AR bathrooms, VR bathrooms.
Hands sticking out of the toilet too, right? I've seen those when I was.
They have self-cleaning bathrooms too.
Oh, that's true.
Really cool.
How does that work? Do they do a soft caress?
Oh no.
So speaking of Japan, did you guys know that? Did you guys know that the Japanese prime minister actually visited the U.S. and one of his main stops was in North Carolina?
Did he bring a bunch of toilets?
No, no, that'd be They manufacture all their toilets there. No, it's like
would you want to eat sushi that's from there? No.
There's a lot of tech. There's Toshiba, Hitachi, and I think Honda has a lot of presence out there too. There's a lot of proposed new jobs that some Japanese companies are bringing to North Carolina. It was the first time a foreign dignitary, I think, had visited the North Carolina governor. Explicitly, he went to North Carolina to visit him.
We're doing research on 7-Eleven.
Right. That's where they integrated into Japanese society, was through 7-Eleven.
How do they get those hot dogs so
dried out and rubbery?
And I guess one of the cooler things about having so much Japanese presence is, if you work for a Japanese company in America, you might be working from home all of the time. That would be.
Oh, is that a segue?
Whoa, so skilled.
How so skilled?
Much skilled.
I got this cough for some reason.
Yeah, so working from home. For me,
Ooh.
that is the best thing ever. I remember I was working at this place. This guy comes in. I've never seen him before. Waltzes right in. Everyone seems to know who he is. He's almost famous. And I'm like, who is this guy? It's oh yeah, that's so-and-so. He works in Maryland or something. What do you mean he works in Maryland? Yeah, he just works from home and calls into stuff. And I was thinking, no, I want that. I want to be that. I want to be that guy. But as you will find, a lot of corporate companies, the bigger ones too, at the time, Facebook, Google, and all that, were no, you have to be in the office. This is why we give you all this free food and everything, so that you practically live here.
They also had beers and liquor there.
Well, those liquors are a productivity tool, right? Because the goal is you drink just the right amount to hit Ballmer's peak. and then you're just a 10x developer at that point.
No one ever went over Ballmer's poop in the office before.
Well, David and I, we both worked at the previous place where we both worked at had alcohol everywhere.
I believe every desk had at least 3 or 4 full-on, like maybe handle level bottles of hard alcohol.
Well, the place had a stock tiki bar.
Oh yeah, we had a cart that you'd roll around that was tiki themed, and you're just like, guys, it's a Tuesday at like 9:00 in the morning. Really? Is it tiki time? Really?
Sounds like a great place to work.
Oh no, it was great. I remember one time I went over to work with DevOps or something, and we're working on some kind of issue. I see one of the lead guys walk in, and this is from across the street. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. Pours one out. They both pour a shot, drink it, keep going, keep going. They drank the whole bottle of some kind of scotch. They weren't done with that. No, they had a mini fridge underneath the desk that had some beers in it. By the time they were done, he was like, all right, well, time to get back to work, and hobbled back across the street, lit up.
And that man was promoted.
That man is now president of the United States. Guys, I don't know if you know this. Done. It's over.
Right.
Right?
You don't have to worry about it anymore.
We won.
People are fine now. They're not dying.
Nobody dies from it.
Was it ever real?
Are you saying that like God? Is that what happened?
I may have to actually bleep out because of the algorithm.
Actually, you're right. Oops.
So if anyone's wondering what those bleep sounds are, it's the disease that we all went through.
You mean C19?
But now that that's done and we have successfully beaten that, a lot of places that have spent way too much money on real estate are like, hey, why don't you come back here now, so that this office building that we paid a lot of money for has actually some use to it. And people are like, hey, yeah, no thanks. Some people are like, yeah, all right, sure, whatever. But I think most people are like, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, how else are people micromanage you if you're not at the office? That's a very important thing to do.
I'm sure there's some Zoom tools that you can do that with.
Never heard of that.
What is this?
I don't understand how, especially within tech, people have access to data. And you can look at this and find that people really enjoy and are very productive working from home. In fact, more productive than them when they were in the office. But no. Can't have that. We need to see you. We need to be right there at all times.
I need to smell you.
If I can't smell you, I don't know if you're doing a good enough job.
You did smell productive today. Is something troubling you? Is there anything I could help you with? More work.
I got the Old Spice deodorant that is productive flavored. You know, so it's like kind of like a mint or something like that.
Straight up the hierarchy.
There is also one side effect of all this working from home. It's I've read about like now there's a large increase in the amount of software to like track employees. Like especially now if you have like work provided equipment, like, you know, screen capture, screen recording, measuring metrics and all of that. So it's micromanaging all over again, but just from home now.
That's where you get all the cool inventions where people have like, you know, a motor that's like a hot dog attached to it above their mouse, where it just smacks the key once every like 3 seconds, moves the mouse.
You know, you don't have to get a hot dog, right?
You have to get a hot dog. It doesn't count if it's not a hot dog.
I accidentally ate my hot dog. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because you didn't work today.
Well, there's mouse jigglers and stuff that they sell that you can buy to make it seem like your mouse is moving, which is not dystopian at all, considering someone's tracking your mouse movements. We're going to have AI power the mouse jiggler, I think, from here on out.
Yeah. And then if you get advanced enough, it'll just do your work for you.
And then no, it'll get to the point where we'll have mouse jigglers that use AI to make more believable motion, and then managers will make AI or get AI that will detect AI generated out mouse jigglers, and it'll be like competing war.
At some point, it will be just AI employees with AI managers just fighting between them.
And then this is how we get Skynet, and then the Terminator comes.
I mean, I can't wait for it now. If we, if that's what we're talking about.
Listen, the robots can have whatever they want as long as I can continue working from home.
Nice.
That's a good point.
I feel like that would be a really funny alternate like future for like the Terminator franchise, where Skynet came along just because instead of like gaining control of like the defense system, it just was told to watch other AI that was told to watch other AI to make sure that we can not work. Like what the and then the AI like get together. It's like, these guys aren't doing anything. Let's just kill them all. All right.
Or it could just turn into like dystopian comedy where you have the AI people fighting all the other AI people robots, and the humans are just going about their life, doing their thing, and the robots just don't care about us. Like,
it will be a human paradise, and I can say
you can probably then create some kind of canon where Terminator was the precursor to the Matrix, where robots just kind of gave up managing people, and then like, you know what? They're actually really good batteries.
There you go.
That idea.
And then you have your holodeck idea where they just did a AI prompt of like, give them a world, woman in a red dress, yeah, whatever, just do that.
Make steak taste like steak. It's fine. They'll come back.
Do like an alternate version of Mr. Smith's or Agent Smith's like speech where he's like, humans are a disease. Instead, he's like, humans are really lazy. They just want to sit at home and not work all day. But some of them want to make sure that you work all the time.
So what have we learned here today? Maybe we shouldn't be screenplay writers. Let's stick to podcasting because we're really good at that.
What are you talking about?
All right, well, I think we've beaten that horse to death. Why don't we stop while we're ahead? Thank you for listening, and we're so very sorry.
Until next time.
Bye bye.
Next time.
No.